The session with Ferdouse on drawing with the Paintology app. And so I was traveling yesterday and I couldn't make it for the daily session. We had to miss yesterday, but I hope you had enough to get on with because I have produced a lot of drawings, close to maybe 60 or more of the live tutorials on how to draw with Paintology. This one I was before we get on with the wildlife theme, that which I've been focusing on the last few days. We drew the tiger day before yesterday, and then the fox and the leopard. So this got me to think more about creativity and how we could utilize the app for drawing. Yeah, and so my method of drawing is very different to how you probably understood digital drawing to be, which was the use of many digital tools to create artwork. But I have shown you that's not necessarily the case. You can use one brush and make perfectly good drawings, providing you know the how to use it. For example, the density settings of the Paintology app and the opacity. So these are things many beginners are not going to get familiar with. And the reason why they're not familiar with is because they haven't really understood the the core skills of doing art techniques. They haven't got any art techniques as such. So Paintology is all about art techniques, developing your techniques, not necessarily becoming accustomed to an application and then hailing to everyone on earth that this is the best app since sliced bread or something like that, but more to talk about. I have developed these techniques. You'll see many of the good artists don't go on about the tools they use. You know, the accomplished artists, the good ones, they don't go on about, I use this paint, I use that, I use this pencil, I use that. So that's not what they're there for, because they've developed so much techniques and techniques that allow them to draw very well. And these are the techniques that I'm showing you with the Paintology app. So you learn the techniques from the app, not use the app for the sheer purpose of using it, but learning some essential core skills and developing your skills in art. So line drawing is one such form of technique. You can see here, I'm doing line drawing here. This is the line drawing. I didn't quite get to finish it. I was just zoom in. I'll quickly show you. You can load any image. I'll quickly do this chimney stack. And this is really good to help you. Look how I'm not really too bothered about perfection here. Let's just picking out these tools, the brush, and then just, yeah, that's all there is. Picking out these side lines, that's really good in order for you to appreciate. It really helps you to improve your strokes. Yes, I encourage you to do line drawing. And I've demonstrated a few line drawings. I'm not going to go do this, obviously. I'm just showing you the capabilities. So you load that again in Trace. And just, this is the bit we did. And I'm going to carry on and finish the rest. And it'll look lovely. You know, a lovely drawing. And you should try it. It's really fun. So I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to go ahead with the drawing we're going to do. But before I do that, let me point you a few things. This is the drawing method I use. It's typically the Note 10. This is actually my Note 10. I'm showing you this. All of this is on my Note 10 with my phone, and I'm going to make the drawing on the phone as well. You may find it hard to believe, but I will show you the techniques so you can learn to draw on the phone and make impressive drawings, just like traditional. Much of the techniques that I bring to the digital medium are based on core skills, fundamental skills of understanding tones, shade, and everything. So the app is developed by me from having a few developers, and I'm also happen to enjoy art, and that's why I'm showing it to you. But I actually come from a technology background. So if you think that skills cannot be learned or adopted because you're not born with it or somehow, you'll be quite surprised when you see some of the things that I can do. I've only mentioned a small percentage of what I can do. It's only because I look to developing the skills and taking it far. I don't stop at a particular point and say they can do it, but I can't. I don't say that. If my passion or desire happens to want me to go and take skills such as in dancing, I'm a very accomplished salsa dancer as well. I've entered in major tournaments and that, so you can see that it's almost like, how can all this come together as a technology? I can tell you go on about my skill set, but this is not about me. This is about you coming here to learn about art, and hopefully you will appreciate how art can be drawn in a certain way. So this is sorry, cancel that. So this is typically the way I draw. And then I use a stylus. I've been using a stylus for some time now, for quite a few weeks, couple of weeks, because I find that it's easier for me when I'm actually teaching. But you can use the stylus, cheap stylus. Don't go into tools. This is the mistake again beginners make. What should I do to start digital drawing? And then they listen to all these people who are really accomplished on the Adobe Photoshop drawing way, and then they get them to ask them, buy a Wacom tablet, Cintiq tablet, get this, get all that, and then have a license on Photoshop. I don't know how much that is, huge, and then start that, and then you'll find that you're quickly dropping it because you don't want to pursue that path. If you want to get into digital drawing, the simplest and the easiest way is on your phone or on your tablet, yeah, and then use some of the free tools that are available, like this one, Paintology, yeah. So that's why I encourage you to get into. Don't listen to all the others who are gonna. If you see me drawing on the phone, it almost tells you that, oh, that's a level I want to achieve. How do I do that? And there's a minimum set of tools: your Android phone, your finger, or a cheap stylus from Amazon. That's all you need. And of course, the Paintology app from the Google Play Store. Okay, make sure you download the Paintology app because there are other competitors who are who know that Paintology is a growing search term, and they will also bid for that. You see what I mean? So, and then they will put, and Google or any other search engine will put their app right at the top in big format, and then they will tuck the Paintology, the real app, down below. So make sure you don't fall for that, and make sure you really search for Paintology. And the Paintology is really, it's very easy. I'll show you where it comes from. Have I got it here? Let me show you. Let me go to Play Store. So I'll show you what it looks like. Paintology, look at that. See, I put that on there and look which item comes up, because they know that the term is growing. People are becoming very popular with the app. This is the one that you should go for. So you may be quickly clicking on that thinking I've got the app. That's clickbaiting in a way. They shouldn't really do that, because Google should actually put the actual real. You're searching for Paintology, they should, sensibility tells you they should put that at the top, but they don't. So this is the Paintology that you want to install. You click on that. You can recognize with the logo, and then you'll see these screenshots. Yeah, this is done with the Paintology. Just make sure you know which one you're downloading, and of course, comment on my YouTube channel if you want to know more. So before I do that, also I want to show you my active profile on Kora. This is Kora, and Kora is a huge platform for questions and answers, and I'm very active on that. So as you can see, and from my profile, I've answered 1,400 answers to questions and answered 1,400 answers to those questions. And I've just recently answered, how do I make digital painting? And a lot of people ask very open-ended questions. There are a lot of questions that I don't bother to answer now. Do you need skill or talent to be a good artist? That one is so old, I've decided to forget that, because I repeat the same thing. You don't need to be born with anything. You can do it. I'm an example of that, proof of that. Okay, so here we are. So you can see a lot of my drawings. This was a tiger. This was a zebra drawing. That was a big challenge because I needed to do it too. And I may be talking too much as well. So I'm an administrator of the Paintology space, which is this one. I click on that. You can see there. This is, again, the space where I put a lot of the drawings. You'll find hundreds of articles on that with a short blurb. Okay, so you're free to use Paintology to get to it. Paintology.Kora.com, and please follow, by all means, because I'm offering all this for free. I'm not making any money as such. It's been my passion to couple technology and art together and bring you Paintology. It's all been designed for you, not for me to make a huge bundle of money. It's to show you the techniques of art, and eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to recover so much of the effort that I put in the 5 years. So I hope you can support me in this cause, and in any way which you can. Yeah. So I don't know how many people will sit every day and art and take you for free the step-by-step tutorial of their painting session or something. I think it's very rare you'll find that. And but I'm doing this because I want to encourage others to show a new method of drawing, which is far easier, not technical. Okay, so let's now go to, what else do I want to show you? Yeah, I quickly want to show you something else before we dive in. And that's let me show you Chrome, Google Chrome, I'll go there. So this was, you see the drawing I downloaded. And then let me go here, clicking there. I want to mention, of course, the Google Classroom. There's not many takers right now. There's a number of students there, but believe me, if you're seriously interested in art and you seriously want, instead of joining an art class and paying money, believe me, you're going to learn a lot from this. This is effectively teaching you the fundamentals of art with practice from the Paintology. And then when you go to a class, the teacher will pretty be dumbfounded as to how you know all this. Okay, trust me, because this has been 5 years in development. You should trust me, because look at the way I'm drawing, right? You can't dispute the fact that I can draw like that, right? And I draw that because I have that deep knowledge of art, and through practice, through learning, self-learning. Okay, so that's one. And then the other one is, of course, you want to go to paintology.com, and that's very important you go to that. That one is where all the tutorials are kept, and that is kept, those tutorials, the live tutorials are found here. Click on that button that says daily step by step. Okay, go to that. Let's go there. Oh, come on. Okay, come to this page and you'll see there. Oops, refresh this because oh dear, I didn't update it. Oh, terribly sorry. I thought I updated that. Okay, I'm going to update it. So since some of you are following it, don't know what happened. I thought I updated it, but since I come back from a trip, sometimes you can go a little bit confusing. I thought I had updated that. Looks like I haven't. So I think it's on the other laptop. Okay, so let's go here. So give me a second and I will update this page. Oh no, I think I may have. This is just going to refresh this laptop. What a time to do refresh. Okay, let me see if I can pull it up. If I can, I will. But if I can, I will do it. If not, I actually thought I'd updated it, but it looks like I haven't. So that can happen. That's what can happen when you have so many things you're doing. You can imagine you're going to miss something out, and really apologize for having messed it up. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 16th. This is a WordPress, yeah, October 2023, and then I'm going to put the reference image because that's all we need now, yeah, for now, yeah, and then I'm going to put in the link for the reference image, copy URL. Okay, and then update. Okay, so I'll update that later. So you can now go to that page and now see it. If you refresh it, you'll be able to see it. Let's go and refresh it. There it is, 16th October, and there's the reference image. This is the elephant we're going to do. Download image, and you can do the same. Let's go back to the Paintology and click on draw, and this is how you should know by now how we do it. Trace, and then that image, and there it is. We have it on our image. So I have to be careful because I've got, like I said, even if I run out of time, I have to really complete the whole drawing, and I have to finish in 2 sessions. So this is session 1 on the Paintology YouTube channel, and the second one should be the live stream. Should be okay. You should be able to click on that, but the reference image, please download it now, and we'll work on it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use, of course, block coloring. Block coloring is such a beautiful, powerful method of drawing, and I'm not sure why many people find it hard, if at all. It's not hard at all. If you can do paint by numbers, it is as simple as using paint by numbers. So the whole idea of this method of drawing is this: to understand and exactly further your skills in the appreciation of tones and values. You go to any art class, believe me, they will bring the subjects of tones and values to your way. And then they're going to base it on traditional materials because they don't know about digital and how it can be done on digital. Whereas you have a phone that you can follow along with me to do digital art and understand tones and values, which has been a sort of a mystery for many people, and it's not really a mystery at all. It's quite easy. So first thing is I do block coloring. I'm not going to give the full explanation. You're going to have to follow me. You can watch many of the other channels where I go into detail. So all it is simply the top half is the reference image, the bottom half is my drawing, and then if I always start with the line brush, and you can see this is my drawing, but it is two layers the reference image and my drawing. And the beauty of keeping the cursor anywhere above this halfway mark means you can get these tones that are appearing. That's a very exceptionally powerful feature. Okay, the blue sky. Look at that. We've got all these tones. And how do we use it? Well, we basically go in, do to block coloring, meaning like paint by numbers, select the local tones. You know, you can zoom in and select it, or and then broad tones. It's very much similar to traditional drawing. You select the tones and then you color, isn't it? So whenever you see a painter paint producing a masterpiece in acrylics, oils, they always lay down the foundation of their drawing, and this is no different. So I'm going to do the blue sky, so I can zoom in and put it comfortable, be comfortable. So I'm going to have just 13%. Is that okay? A good size? That's a good size. So I'm going to keep that 13%. So I'm going to pick the color picker. Notice here I've got the color picker. I'm picking that. And then wherever my finger rests and stylus rests, that's the color that I've just picked. So if I were to go all the way across, then that tone will change. So I don't do that. So I tend to generally keep it very close to where that color I picked. So which means that I'm picking the exact tones. And tones is simply these colors, the blue tone color that changes. So what should I do? I pick these tones. Look at that, how it's changed blue. When you capture, when you understand, begin to understand, you will see, I'll show you how many tones we picked from the color palette. Believe me. Now people, traditional artists are now waking up to tonal painting. You might have heard of it. And they're still using traditional materials and they're mixing the colors. And the problem with mixing colors is that you've got to know color theory. Who's got time for that? I got my color picker, mate. You know, I haven't got time for color theory. I just need to pick the color. Just, you know, TVs and phones can simulate billions of colors, right? They can simulate billions of colors. You'll be very surprised. You think that blue sky probably had like a couple of tones. It has hundreds of tones. Why do you think TVs can simulate billions of colors? Otherwise, you know, if you looked at the image, it would be like a cartoon or animation. And we know that the pictures we get on QLED TVs are like astonishing. The level of picture quality is just is mind-boggling. Look at the tones that changed here. Look how dark that is. Right there. So I'm not going to put my cursor anywhere here because I may pick those debris that this. So I'm going to pick this tone and then just go over it, not doing anything else. Okay, now let's look at the tones we have. Look at the tones in the blue, right? Look at the color palette. See how many tones there are? You think they're all the same. They're not. Believe me, they're not. That's how you understand tones. Take that to your teacher, and then he will be like thinking, wow, that is excellent. Where did you learn that? Okay, now we go here. Let's see the tones. So now I'm going to go to the brown tone here. Can you see it? I'm just simply going to cross that here. Or I could pick this tone, lighter tone, and just go over there, right? You need to see the tone, that's the mid-tone of the brown and that. So what I'm going to do is just pick up the tones of this tone here. Just take it down. Don't worry about the exact details. And you may have picked up one of those darker tones by accident, like for example this, right? That's a darker tone because that's the tone of the that black mound, right? You have to practice it to appreciate it. Don't just watch me. There's never been a time where you can actually learn art in a much more easier fashion than now. And then if you look at your own tone coloring like this, if you look at it afterwards, you will see if you've made a mistake and picked the wrong tone, or if you need to refine it. But at this level, I'm not too bothered. Oops, I pressed the wrong. At this point in time, I'm not too bothered in getting, because I'm just trying to get the tones right. Right, that's all. The tone, the background tones, yeah? You see there's a lot of shrubbery. I'm not too bothered about that. So let me just create this lovely yellow. Right, let me create this lovely tones here and just giving it depth. Yeah, if you do the same color, it'll look too blocky and not real. It hasn't got any dimension. That's the reason why many of my drawings have dimension, because I've really fine-tuned my understanding of tones through here. Drawing is a lot more than just creating strokes and filling in colors and using tools. This method of drawing will surely expand your skills if you follow it, and you'll be able to draw like me and hopefully go beyond. Actually, I have a requirement where I'm actually looking for artists. Since I've been doing this for a while, I'm sure some of you have picked up. So I have a requirement. So if you can submit your pictures of any of the tutorials I've done, I would like to talk to you and perhaps hire you for, based of course on your ability, hire you for helping me, expand this application and whole and make it grow, because I'm in the midst of where a lot of people are signing up. We've reached 100,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, and therefore it's showing promise. And I would like to expand it. And I can't do this for myself. You may think, well, he's a super skilled person, so why doesn't he just continue? But if you've ever tried to run a business or operation, you will know that there's a lot of potential people required with the right skill set to run the business, yeah? So that's where I am right now. So if you're interested, please do drop me a line. You can contact me by the comments or anything on the community of the Paintology or wherever, yeah? So this is the drawing that I have. You know what I'm going to do? This bush here, I'm going to take this down here. This bush here is a major distraction. It's ugly, and I'm going to take it out of my drawing. But I'm going to leave the rest and keep it simple, leave the rest. This is like a freak accident where the photographer saw this bush, and obviously he had his his camera fixed to this charging bull. Maybe he didn't have time to change anything or frame it, because it was charging. Look, it's not aggressively charging, but it's surely charging his way, isn't it? Because that's why I call it the charging elephant. So I'm going to take this thing out. So I can do that because it's my own drawing, isn't it? But before I do that, I'm going to finish the complete block covering. So let's see, I've got this. And now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to block color the colors that I see here. Yes, you got it here. Right? I'm just going to do the gray tones that's here. So I don't have to do every detail of it, because remember, artists always, and I'm not worried about if I pick the artist, always do this filling in. You cannot tell me that you have not seen this method of painting, and that's the reason why you love watching them, because they're so good, isn't it? And now you have a way of drawing. The reason why they can't break down the drawing process, this is something else which I talk about a lot, is because their style or unique way of drawing is unique to them, no one else. And for them to sit down and take you through step by step of their mindset that goes through every second through their head, it's just astonishingly difficult. It's just not possible. But with block coloring, like I'm showing you here, it's very easy. Why is that? Because they don't have to, they're not using the same materials. In digital, you are using the same, but it's so easy. You can see up, you can have it exactly like me, 13.36%, 100% density here. Okay, that's all. And color picker. So there's nothing really complicated about doing it digitally, and therefore creating art in this manner is actually easier. Look at that wonderful tusk that's coming up. I'm still sticking to that 13% for the background and just laying down the foundation. I don't know what this animal had, this elephant, for some reason had, it's got mud on its thing. I wonder what happened. This elephant has got mud like this on its forehead. But we're going to capture a lot of it, a lot of that essence and lovely detail of this elephant with big, broad colors. You might have seen many artists, you probably have, that paint exactly like this. They're using a brush and laying down the foundational colors very broadly, not even worried what they're going to do next. There. So what I'm doing. And then I'm going to use a smaller brush too. So I'm going to actually do this first, right? I'm not sure if I've got the exact tones, so I'm going to show you the next method, the next step, which is very easy because we've got enough time. And notice I've left the eyes out because around the eyes I want to get some more detail. So obviously this is not the finished, right? This is not the finished area. That'd be silly if I said I finished my drawing here. Okay, let's see if I've covered everything. Elephant. See, that's looking like an elephant now, isn't it? And it looks like in the distance in a prairie, right? And it's looking quite good. And there's some areas that we haven't touched, like the eyes here, here. And then this tusk, the white tusk we've left. Yeah. So we can get, this is really an excellent way to show you how we stepwise get from a pretty, from a zero canvas all the way to a finished product. So that's all it is. I'm going to have a sip of my Diet Pepsi. Ah, okay, so notice how I also follow the strokes. You see it? I followed the strokes as well. Have you seen the trunk? How I follow the strokes of the line? I always do that. It's a force of habit. And you should do the same. Never go opposite the lines of the drawing, okay? Always follow it, okay? There. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to have to save this. If you've been following, you know that I'm going to have to open this up again because I'm working on a prototype app. And then okay, save. I thought I clicked on the home, but it looks like I didn't. Click on my paintings here and then open up the drawing again and you can resume your work. So you don't have to finish in one go. Okay, So before I do that, let me sort of tidy up this area. So this is where the beauty of the zoom feature comes in. So think of the phone. If anyone tells you the phone is mediocrely small and you cannot do anything, well, this zoom of 400% has just made it into an A4 letter size paper or even bigger. I have to do the maths behind it, but that's the reason why I can do photorealistic drawings on the phone. And many people are a little bit gobsmacked, can do that. So I'm going to pick this and reduce that size 6%, and then I'm just, see that brush size, how it's given me a little bit of tonal control in that region here. See that? Okay, and then look at that eyes. I'm going to keep that dark eye and then just go around it. Right, keep that eye, and you'll see it makes a lot of difference. Look at these tones I'm picking. I'm picking very localized tones. That's the area that you saw where I left, because of the white trunk. Now I'm picking the white trunk. See the color? It's not completely white. This is where your eyes get fooled so easily. So I've shown this many drawings where you think the eyes looks like, think it, but in reality it's not that dark. Look at this. Now we can get this tone exactly, and now this tone. So that was a dark tone. So just remember I said I was not to worry. And then here is wonderful. I'll show you this. I'm not sure whether I want to show you in the next session, but let's carry on. Don't get carried away. Let's carry on just cleaning up the areas that we haven't done, yeah? It's a smaller brush, but not, as you zoom in, you'll know it's not as small as you think it is. Now, this is an area that I haven't touched. And here's the other trunk, yeah? The ivory, isn't it? It's the wonderful tusks, I should say. Not trunk, tusks. Elephant tusks. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Now it's beginning to look like an elephant, isn't it? You can tell. And you may be happy with that, but we can go a long way when we are going to go a long way, because that's what the whole exercise is about, isn't it? I'm going to just use the adjacent colors to just fill out these small details. Yeah. And then anywhere where I haven't touched. Right, so that's where we are on that. So we got a good 10 minutes left, because I like to leave 10 minutes before I start the next session. So for the next thing we're going to do is, let's see. We're going to now, what I'm going to do, well, I think what I'm going to do now is this, the elephant is the most prominent feature. And remember, we're going to take out this silly bush, right? So we're going to try and, since we've got 10 minutes, I'm going to try and create the background, this background, right? And we know that background is diffused. So when it's diffused, I have probably shown you that I switch to the shade brush. But before I do that, I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to switch to the shade brush. Okay, and then I've still kept it at 5%. And then I'm just going to go over some these and take out the shade. Allows me to take out these sort of harsh lines. See here? It's a beautiful brush, I tell you, the line and the shade. Such a wonderful variety of brush. How do I do that? There. Yeah, so we sort of address some areas here. Okay. There. And then on this one, you can see in the background here, I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to use these strokes. Look at the bushes are vertical. They're not like this sky. So I'm not going horizontally. I'm going vertically, right? To give the illusion of, I'll pick this blue. Let me see if I can finish it. Yeah. So to give that illusion that there are distant bushes, yeah? And I'm going to see if that works. I've never done this before, but believe me, you should always experiment. If you don't experiment, what's the point of learning, you know? You're not going to learn anything if you don't experiment. If you do the same thing again and again, you know, that's pretty boring, I think. It's the reason why I like to always keep my skill sets up, and you should do the same. I can take advantage of this and then just create some strokes, yeah, like that. Very light stroke. See how I did that there? Very light stroke. Almost looks like there are bushes there. And then here we can do the same here. Right, so this is very different to what I was doing before, which was more of a rounded way to create the blending on the background. So this is working out to be really nice. And then see, it's got that tone. Do you see where the white is? That's the dust particle. So we'll leave that. So we just go around there because we want to make sure that we capture this elephant who's charging and creating, lifting all that dust around it. There. See how that's looking now? It's diffused, but yet at the same time, it's showing us further away from the elephant. And you know when you do this, right? I've noticed the wonderful thing of that the foreground image, the actual elephant, really pops out. You know, that's why the many cameras have something what's called a portrait mode. In case you don't know what that is, it's very similar to what I'm doing here. It's actually creating an illusion, diffusing the background, making the foreground stand out much more. That's all it's doing, right? So this is all I'm doing, it's just now this foreground object here, the brown, will show up even more, but it's still diffused with the shade. Pick any of the adjacent colors and just experiment. Don't be afraid to experiment. Right, that's all I'm doing. And remember, oops, I made a mistake. And the mistake I made was this is a lot sharper because it's in the front. And I'm going to put, no, it's not actually a mistake. Okay, let me go on the other side now and finish it. You know, let's see what we got. So this looks like it's in the background except for this dust, right? And then I'm going to do the same because I only got 5 minutes. So I'm going to do the same here. Diffusing on the other side, yeah? I think. And then look at that beautiful horizon here. It's kept giving the illusion that, you know, where the sky meets the... Just wonderful. You've got to love nature to really be a good artist, I think, and especially when you are drawing nature. Some of the greatest artists like Cézanne, Monet are in love with nature, and even Constable Turner. See, now I'm going to keep that foreground. See that area here? Area here, I'm going to keep it like it's in the foreground. It's like it's going to be prominent, just like the the charging elephant. Yeah. So I got that, and I left the area where the it's raising the dust. Yeah. So I'm going to do this. Just pull in some of these colors. Right, just change it around because obviously the dust particles are going to leave a little bit of the background showing. It's not like a solid color that's coming up, is it? So on this side there's not much because more of the dust particles are showing there. Okay, so nothing there, we're just cleaning it up. Yeah, that's all we do. Alright, so I think we've done a pretty good job. I hope you've managed to reach this spot, this drawing here up to here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here, and then I'm going to move to the next session, which you will find a link. The link will actually take you to part 2 of this drawing. So I hope to see you there and shortly. So thank you, and see you there soon. Thank you. Bye bye.